Srila Prabhupada ki jai. You're going to have to move the mic stand. So, yeah, if cartels, I can chant Jai Radha out of the verse before.
Oh, and a garland.
Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Pretty hot here. Jayo Radha Madhova Kunya Bihari Also tell us that Shimad, His Divine Grace Abhaya Chalana, the Bhaktivedanta Goswami, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, ISKCON founder Acharya. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Anantakoti. Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai, Namacharya. Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai, Sekahu, Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Guru Rabba Nityananda Shidwaita Gadadha Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Shri Radhakrishna Gopi Gopinath Shai Mukund Radhakunda Giri Govardhan ki jai, Macharadam ki jai, Jagannath Swami ki jai, Madhumai ki jai, Shrimati Vilasi Devi ki jai, Samveda Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Gaur Vrinda Hari Hari. All glories the assembled devotees, all glories the assembled devotees. All glories the assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pastaya Bhutale Shivadi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinamani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauranga Pachani Namaste Srimati Paschati Deshitari. So, Om Gana Timidanda Shah Gananjana Shlakya Chakshu Ranjaditam Tasmai Shri Namaha. So, I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of my spiritual master's divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, who so kindly opened my eyes with a torchlight of knowledge while I was blinded in the darkness of ignorance. Okay, so today we have one initiation. I think it's the first time we just did an initiation for one person. It's a first for me. In Fiji, sometimes you get 30 people lined up. Okay, so you look good, shaved up. Yeah, it looks really good. Actually, everyone looks good if they're shaved up. I'll tell you, before I begin to talk about it, I'll tell you a funny story about one initiation I did in Govardhan. One initiation I had at Govardhan was at the, what's called Prabhupada's Palace, the place where Tamal Krishna Maharaj established. Some of you may know that place. It's a very beautiful place. It's right near the city of Govardhan. And so we had an initiation scheduled for, it was about 9 o'clock in the morning. So what happened is I showed up on time like I usually do. And I waited an hour or two and 3. And what happened is they didn't show up. So I said, these people will never get initiated. I was so angry, you know. I said, wait till Sachi Yuga to get initiated. So basically, that was conveyed to them. But they were actually looking for the ingredients. Somehow they didn't plan ahead. That's one of the symptoms of Kali Yuga, is to procrastinate, not do things until the last moment. And two young men. And I said, they're not going to give them initiation no matter what. And so later on that day, they came to see me at my house, which was some distance away. It's at Rajbasundara, which is pretty far away, not too far, but about 10, 15 minutes by rickshaw from where I was going to do the sacrifice. So they come to see me, and I said, I don't want to see them. Don't just kick them out, you know, as they were doing. And so all of a sudden, I said, well, they're really here, they're here, you know, so I come down, and steam is coming from my ears. You know, this happens sometimes when people don't observe etiquette. Actually, in another initiation in Fiji, I actually walked out of the initiation. Right? This is initiation. Not because I was upset with him, because I was upset with some of the leaders. So I do take it very seriously. So what happened is then I walked down from my room, which is on the 2nd floor, come to the door, and said, these kids are going to get it. Open the door. And there they were with their shaved heads. And they looked so cute. I just went,
I was 23 years old, I think.
no, this wasn't you.
Oh,
These two, not you. Not you. You didn't look cute. There's nothing to do with you. This is a Govardhan story. This is a Govardhan story. That's not about Fiji. I just mentioned Fiji. So anyways, the two boys were at the door, opened up, and normally they had a little hair, but this time they looked so cute. I said, "Oh, my heart's melted." I'll give you initiation. Next day, be on time. And they were on time. So anyway, so the point is like Prabhupada said, when a brahmachari is properly, shaved up and everything and dressed up, he looks like he's coming from the spiritual world. Isn't it?
Yeah.
And people with a lot of hair, not the ladies, of course. They can look like the spiritual world too in a different way. So, but the man, when they have a bald head and the dhoti and the tilak and everything like that, it's just like, it's impressive. Prabhupada actually said that in the Nectar of Devotion. Actually says that when the Vaishnava is properly decorated, you see the tilak marks on his arms and everything like that. Wow, I'm impressed. So, Prabhupada liked that. Prabhupada sometimes he'd be giving an initiation, someone would come with a beard and he just shave him up. So, I mean, sometimes Prabhupada would make exceptions, sometimes I make exceptions, but it looks a lot better. People look a lot better. Not that all you men who are working have to shave their heads, but it looks great. Yeah, and it's the style nowadays. Even sometimes I walk into a place to go shopping, and people look at the ponytail, the shika. I say, hey, that's cool. Sometimes you walk into the supermarket or something like that. I've actually had the lady reach out and touch it, because she liked the shika so much. Anyways.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So the Vaishnava dress is very attractive, even for people who are not Krishna conscious. That was the point. There's something very attractive about it. So anyway, so getting back to today's celebration. This is initiation. And as we know, there's several different types of initiation. And initiation, spiritual initiation, is called a samskara. Now the word samskara is generally understood by most people to mean like a ceremony. Like you have Garbhan samskara, namakarana, and all these other samskaras. And of course, ultimately, there's something called the antyeshti samskara. What's that? That's a funeral. That's the last one. That's goodbye.
16th and some
Goodbye on your voyage to Yamaraj. So that's antyeshti. So, samskara, the word samskara, actually, is a very interesting word. Like we have the word sankirtan, samskara, sasang, means perfect. Like complete. Actually, much better definition is complete or whole. Like sankirtan, complete chanting. Generally, we take that as meaning chanting with a lot of people simultaneously. And kara comes from kriti, which means a work. Like kara, like you have karma, etc., like that. Different words that come from that. So it means a perfect action. It's interesting, isn't it? The derivation of the Sanskrit word. So it's generally understood to be a perfect action that creates, as we're reading in the Jaiva Dharma, an impression in the heart. Because we have a gross body, which is the Pancha Mahabhuta, earth, water, fire, air, ether. And we have a subtle body, mind, intelligence, and false ego. And this subtle body collects impressions. It's like I don't know if you have tape, sticky tape, and it can collect dirt sometimes, isn't it? Or you collect other things. You can tape it and use it in Christian service, but also it collects dirt if you just leave it out. So in the same way, our subtle body has been collecting dirt for many, many lifetimes. And I don't need that. I mean, better leave it because it'll sound something I have very.
Disturb the sound. Off close.
Yeah, it's all right now. Just whatever it is, just leave it. So, the subtle body creates these impressions. That's why we talk about, or Lord Chaitanya said, that the first instruction for a Vaishnava is a satsanga chag, a Vaishnava char. Anyone know what that verse means? To avoid bad association. Because association is like wet paint. You touch it, your hand gets dirty, or your hand gets colored. And Krishna says in the Gita, what? Karnam gunasangasha sarasad janma jonishu. That the cause of our entanglement in this world is guna sangha, or association with the modes of nature. So throughout our lives, we have all sorts of different types of association. Obviously, we may look at the news and we're associating with the passion that's there in the news, then we get all worried about who's going to be the next president of the United States. Mode of passion, mode of ignorance. And then you may watch a Bollywood movie and get real romantic if you're a lady. And then you get influenced by the mode of passion and ignorance. Or you may listen to some non-devotee song, but in the mode of goodness, and then you get influenced by the mode of goodness. Or you may look at the sun shine, or the sunrise in the morning, that's the mode of goodness. So these modes of nature continually creating impressions on our heart, which is interesting. That's why your heart, your subtle body, has all these impressions for many, many lifetimes, not just this lifetime. That's why sometimes when people are born, in a very short time after they're born, they have different phobias. Everybody knows what a phobia is? Fears. Like agoraphobia, claustrophobia. Fear, like claustrophobia, being afraid of closed places. If they go into an elevator, they start to shake. There's hydrophobia too, water. A lot of people in India have hydrophobia, but that's because their mother told them they were going to drown. And they don't teach them how to swim because they have hydrophobia, and therefore they drown later on. So it's a self-fulfilling prediction. I've seen it happen like that. The ladies have these dreams, my child's going to drown. I'm not going to have him get swimming lessons. Okay, so there's a flood, the child drowns because he never got swimming lessons. So anyway, so people are born, somehow they manifest these phobias. Yeah, keep it closed, please. There's supposed to be AC in here. So keep it close, and so people manifest these phobias without any reason for it, because they've had PTSD from many births, right? And so it's really amazing. Like when I was young, I was deathly afraid of spiders. Just really fearful of spiders. Now I'm not anymore.
Cockroaches.
Yeah, cockroaches.
Yeah, I'm really like I was.
Really? I was never afraid of cockroaches.
Later on.
But, so, you have these fears. Why are you afraid of these things? They're just like innocent things. So, anyway, so these are impressions. And so some samskaras are meant to create a different type of impression. The Vedic samskaras, the Vedic impression ceremonies. I'm defining it in this way. This is what's happening today. And these impressions are supposed to be spiritual impressions that are not made only on the subtle body, but are also made on the soul. You understand? So just like I can remember when I took initiation, I can remember when I took sannyas, I can remember my second initiation. These are all different sanskaras I went through. Of course, my parents never did Garbhadan sanskara. Unfortunately, they never did namakarna, and a lot of sanskars they never did. But the most important samskar is the initiation, because janma jayate shudra samskara bhavet vijnam. Because a spiritual samskara makes us a human being, or at least a higher class person. Janmana Jayate Shudra. Simply by the birth, or even the birth ceremony, you're just a Shudra. It doesn't matter whether your family is Trivedi or Chaturvedi or Panchavedi, Octavedi, you know. Ashtaveda, it would be Ashtaveda. So it doesn't matter. Because, especially in Kali Yuga, Kalo Shudra Sambhava. Everybody in Kali Yuga is Shudra by birth. But samskara bhavat dvijam, one becomes twice born by the proper Vedic, which is initiation, but first and second initiation. It's interesting, this word dvija means two births. But it's also in Sanskrit the name for a bird. Did you know that? Because birds are born twice. So are lizards. You know, first the egg comes out, then the egg is hatched. Yeah, it's interesting. So by this samskara, one becomes, or samskara is also called a reformatory practice. One's consciousness becomes reformed. Of course, it is not simply by the samskara, but it is by continuing with the promises that one makes during the samskara. Because ultimately the most important promise we make, whether it's first or second initiation, is to chant the Lord's holy names. Because as we know from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings, Chaito Darpanam Arjanam Bhava Mahadvagni Nirvapanam, that the heart becomes cleansed. All the other bad samskaras you have, sometimes we say about someone if they're having bad luck, we say, he has really bad samskaras. Or if someone's really ugly, or someone or someone has legal problems, or someone, anyway, has health issues. They have bad samskaras. Well, the point is, all these samskaras, the bad ones, are wiped out and cleansed by the chanting of the Lord's holy name. All your karma, parabdha karma, aparabdha karma, kuta, bija, all these different aspects of karma and its reactions are wiped out by the chanting and by the proper application of the samskara. In other words, the performance we're doing today, or the samskara we're doing today, is just the beginning. Like Prabhupada often would say that initiation means to begin, isn't it? Let's initiate the process. That means to begin the process. So that's giving someone an opportunity. So today, we are giving this nice young man with a bald head the opportunity to become a Brahmin. It is not that he becomes a Brahmin by this ceremony. One should realize that. Oh, now I'm a Brahmin. Isn't it? Like Prabhupada said, if someone has a sacred thread and he doesn't have the qualities, he's a sacred, you can call him a sacred thread holder. Not that you should go around calling people that, that's an offense. But that's it, you know, a sacred thread used to be like 2 pice. Of course, nowadays you can't buy anything for a pice or 2 pice. Isn't it? Do you remember when they used to have pice in India? Paisa.
Paisa.
You don't remember it? Prabhupada said pice, you know, he didn't pronounce the eighth name. But you don't remember how I could buy a boat trip for 5 paisa.
Oh yeah, we used to have 1 paisa, 2 paisa. I have seen it.
Yeah.
3 paisa.
Yeah, that was worth nothing.
Oh yeah, even $5, 5 rupees is not.
Yeah, even 5 rupees, 10 rupees isn't worth anything. That's inflation. But you used to buy a Brahmin thread for like 2 paisa, and that was it. And then you put it on your body, and I'm a Brahmin. And that way you could demand that everyone would serve you. Or you put on saffron robes, and I'm a sannyasi. But the interesting thing is that, many people, it's described in the Vedic literatures that in Kali Yuga, sometimes demons are being born in Brahmin families. It's not that all Brahmins families are demons, that's not the point. But sometimes you see that. I mean, Ravan was from a nice demon family. His father, at least, Vishravas, was actually a Brahmin. His mother had some challenges, Kekashi. She was from a nice demon family. Anyway, so he was powerful. He was a Brahma Rakshasa. That's the most powerful. So don't be a Brahma Rakshasa. So therefore, we're giving people, or Prabhupada is giving the initiates, and I'm just serving Prabhupada. Of course, I'm supposed to be a guru. I am a guru, not Ritvik. But we're getting the opportunity by the mercy of our disciplic succession to become Brahmins. And becoming Brahmin means to attain the qualities of being a Brahmin. And so it's very important to understand those qualities. Prabhupada would always speak about them during the second initiation, quoting this verse from the Bhagavad Gita. Samadhamaktapakshocham shanti rajavimevacha jnana vijnanam astikyam brahma karma subhavajam. You know the verse? So let's describe the qualities and how it applies to you, not just describe the qualities. Because sama means being equipoised. Equipoise, sitoshna sukha dukkha, happiness, distress, pleasure, pain, all sorts of disease, health, nice tasting prasadam, not so nice tasting prasadam, friends.
If somebody bugs you.
It bugs you, the bug, the flies. Reminds me of that one personality in Chaitanya Leela who had leprosy, and the little bugs, the insects, were actually crawling in and out of his body, and as soon as one fell out, he felt so much compassion, he put it back in. I mean, I'm not expecting you to do that. But that's really being equipoised. So that means just, no matter what happens, just being steady in one's spiritual activities. Krishna will test us in so many ways. In fact, those tests are Krishna's mercy. For example, we were talking to someone today about how when Krishna really favors someone, he takes everything away. Krishna sometimes does that. Of course, sometimes if you need something, he'll give it to you. Like Prabhupada's father said, Krishna has 10 hands or 10 arms, and you can't keep yourself from getting something if Krishna wants to give it to you, and you can't keep yourself from keeping something if Krishna wants to take it away from you. But Maharaj Yudhisthira asked Krishna the question, this is from the Bhagavatam, why is it that we as devotees have to undergo all these tribulations? There's so many, the attempted killings of the Pandavas, the attempted disrobing of Draupadi, the loss of their kingdom, the banishment, having to hide out in the kingdom of Virat, all these different things. And Krishna explained, Yashaham anukrinami harishe tadnanam shanai, that for my devotee, I want them back to Godhead, so therefore, when I favor them, especially, sometimes I take things away. So then they're just left with the holy name, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. It reminds me one time, last year when I didn't come here, I had kidney stones. And it's painful, very painful. And it's described like a lady giving birth, but it's the birth giving that can last for about 2 or 3 weeks. You're in labor for 2 or 3 weeks with kidney stones. Anyway, so all I could do was just like pace up and down, and I couldn't sleep at night. Chanting Krishna. I couldn't even say the whole Maha Mantra. It was just Krishna, 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 Krishna. But the whole time, I was actually seeing Krishna behind it. What is Krishna teaching me? What does he want me to learn? Does he want me to learn he's cruel? No. No, what does he want me to learn about this world? What does he want to learn about this relationship with him? How does he want me to chant better? So I was thinking that, and I was actually grateful to Krishna. Of course, I pray that Krishna doesn't make me more grateful by doing something like that again. But anyways, I hate to say it, I was praying to Krishna to take away the pain, I have to be honest. So, I was grateful. Krishna, you put me in this circumstance. And I continued chanting. I didn't become bitter or anything like that. So that's sama, just equipoised. And that's the quality of a Brahmin. And seeing Krishna behind everything, you know my favorite verse, Yomam Pashati Sarvatra. Sarva Jamai Pashati Tashaham Na Pranashami Sachame Na Pranashati. As Krishna says, 6:30 in the Gita, one who sees me and everything in me is never lost to me, nor am I ever lost to him. So that's really how you become sama. Not just by being some like Kshatriya who's pulling the arrows out of your body. Thinking about the Mahabharata war, the Kshatriyas were fighting like Grandfather Bhishma. And they kept fighting even with arrows stuck in their body. I could never do something like that. That would be torture, wouldn't it? So, but it means just keep on going. Another verse, what was that verse? Oh, tate nukam pam shusha mikshamanam punjani vatma kritam vipakam ridbag bhavor avidam namaste jiveta yo mukti pade sadayavak. Some of you may know that verse. That one who goes on tolerating everything that occurs, and in spite of all the things that occur, he goes on serving the Lord with his mind, body, and words, then he's the fit recipient for pure devotional service. He's the fit inheritor, actually. That's the way Prabhupada translated it, for pure devotional service. So, wow. So we're going to have to tolerate a lot of things. So sama, dhamma. Dhamma is even harder. Dhamma means sense control. Because some of the senses will pull us in different directions, especially as you get older, you'll understand what I'm talking about. The senses, vacho vegam, manasa kroda vegam. Vegam means pushing. They push. Eat, see, do. Get angry. Isn't that they push? Just when it comes out, you have all these symptoms. Anger just wells up. Jiva, tongue, belly, genitals, mind, anger, and words. So one has to control, even though there may be the pushing, you don't give in to it. Because why don't you give it into it? Because it doesn't please Krishna. That's the perfect way to control the senses. Not that you just control the senses because you like controlling the senses. You accept what's favorable for serving Krishna and reject what's unfavorable for serving Krishna. That's how you control the senses. Out of love, it's bhakti. I mean, why do I do anything that I'm doing now? Is out of love for Srila Prabhupada. There's no other reason. I mean, it's like I was mentioning the other day, not here, but somewhere else, that oftentimes I'm thinking, I should just retire, go to Govardhan and say the goodbye cruel world, And just chant, be happy, Hare Krishna. Like one of Prabhupada's godbrothers, Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj, anytime you asked him about any practical question, he would chant Hare Krishna and laugh at you. I remember him. He's a really blissful person, completely Krishna conscious. I was thinking, I'd like to be like that. So as soon as I think like that, I hear Prabhupada say, you rascal. So you're controlled by Guru, isn't it? I mean, Prabhupada says, you internalize Prabhupada. You rascal, okay. Okay, I will continue. Your retirement is the Antyeshti ceremony. That's your retirement. Okay, yes sir, Because that's what Shisha means. Disciple, comes from the root datu, which means discipline. You got shastra, you know these words? Shastra means the book, shastra is the stick. So anyway, so we have to be controlled by Krishna and Guru. I mean, this is really intense. By love, not just by force, because force is not really pleasant. But you serve by love. So, samadhamma tapa, that's a hard one too. It gets harder. Tapasa brahmacharya minacha. Anyway, tapa means it's less easy. To accept everything favorable for serving Krishna, reject everything unfavorable. The first two principles of Sharanagati, as Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentions. So that comes from devotion. You just think, what would Krishna and Guru want? And you make decisions based on that. That's all. Very simple, isn't it? Not that you have to be austere in the sense of putting yourself in fire in Sacramento in the middle of the summer, like we're going to do in a second. Or putting yourself in ice in the middle of the winter. But Bhuganai tapasana yati nacheshyad nirvat kanad. Grahadbad chandasanai vajulad nusuryar. Bina mahapadur jopi shekam. One has to take the dust of Krishna's devotees, Rajobi Shekam, Mahatpada Rajobi Shekam. And in this way, one can actually perform austerities. Then it's not very difficult. Why or how did Prabhupada perform the austerity of going across the ocean and having these heart attacks and continuing? Why did he do that? He did that because he wanted to please his Guru Maharaj. It's simple. It's very simple. And he saw that Krishna was rowing the boat in his various incarnations, but that's the reason why. As Prabhupada was fixed on that purpose, the order of his Guru Maharaj. So, Prabhupada himself, he stated that several times. He wasn't an advocate of just austerities for austerity's sake. In fact, when Prabhupada got the order of his spiritual master to take sannyas through dreams, Prabhupada said he was horrified. He had this dream several times. He said, I was horrified. But he took this order seriously. It's interesting. So you take the order seriously, even though it may go against your inclination at that particular point, and then you get purified. That's austerity. And you reject what's not favorable. And then shocham. Shocham is a pretty easy one. That means clean. Clean inside and outside. Inside by, as we're going to hear in the fire sacrifice, Yaksmet Pundri Aksham, Devaya Vyantara Shuchi Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu. By remembering Krishna, that means remembering Krishna, remembering his holy names, remembering the order of the spiritual master, and remembering our service and meditating on our service. That's how one remains clean in the heart. And of course outside, obviously by taking baths regularly, cleaning the body. And then we have other qualities. Shantir is heat with a K. That means being tolerant and austere, honest, religious. And even more important than that is jnana, cultivating knowledge regularly, reading and hearing Krishna Katha. Because unless you hear Krishna Katha, unless you know the tattvas, the siddhanta, stuff about bhavas, the emotions, like we're reading in the Jaiva Dharma, and the bhava, the ras, and ratis, and all these different factors, then you're really not going to be able to understand what to be done, what you should do, what you should not do. So it's very important. Unless one is very astute, like Prabhupada would often say, that devotional service is like a razor's edge. And with a razor, this is like a straight razor, not the safety razors we use nowadays. With a razor, if you slip, you can cut off your ear. I remember when I used to go to the barber, they used to use these straight razors. They probably still do in India.
Yeah.
And it's so sharp and he's going like that. And one little slip and poof, the thing's gone. So Prabhupada says devotional service is like a razor's edge. So if you're not careful, you can fall into sahajism, you can fall into materialism, you can fall into all sorts offenses against the Vaishnavas. There's many pitfalls on the devotional road. Many, many pitfalls. And unless one is devotionally or intellectually astute in understanding these pitfalls, one will fall into one of them. That's really important. You keep the association of devotees. And then jnanam vijnanam. That means also practicing what you know. So, becoming fixed, astikyam. So these are all qualities of a Brahmin. And so now you're expected to develop whatever qualities you haven't developed so far by the mercy of your parents. You have great parents, actually. You're very fortunate. You should always think like that. I have great parents. Today you should pay obeisance to your parents too. So whatever, and by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, whatever qualities you developed, you use them in pleasing the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. And in addition, when one takes Brahmin initiation, they're considered like a priest, minister, someone who represents the society. Your actions will cause people to judge our Krishna conscious society pro or con. So it's a very big responsibility. Like if you act foolishly, people will criticize our Krishna conscious movement. You know, however you act is very important. So these are the qualities of a Brahman, and we're asking you to meditate on developing these qualities to serve Krishna, the Supreme Personality of God. And also, a Brahman's duty is to give others Krishna consciousness. Actually, Prabhupada considered that to be above and beyond the basic principles of Brahminical behavior, the most important activity for a Brahmin. Because a Brahmin who doesn't share Krishna consciousness is not a Brahmin, he's a Kripana.
What is this?
Kripana.
Kripana. Okay.
Kripana, yeah.
Yeah.
He's a miser.
Miser.
Like if someone who has all the money at home and he sees people starving on the street and he doesn't help people. So you have the ability, even now, I mean, before you take Brahmin initiation, you have the ability to help people. So you should be thinking about that, thinking about how to bring people to Prabhupada's lotus feet, to Prabhupada's movement, and above all, always serve Srila Prabhupada's society. So you're taking Brahmin initiation and your previous first initiation is for the purpose of serving Srila Prabhupada's society. Don't ever forget that you're a servant. A dasa, dasana das. Gopi Bharata, Padakamala, dasa, dasana das. A servant of a servant of a servant of the Lord who maintains the gopis in Vrindavan. That's our position. You're a servant. Servant means you may be a Brahmin, but if Krishna wants you, wash the toilets one day. And Krishna wants you, give class. Just like I'm sitting here and I am thinking I'm a guru, but actually Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, if one thinks they're a guru, they're guru. They're like a cow or an ass. So if you think you're a Brahmin, that's not your identity. Your identity is servant, das. And Krishna may ask you to sit on the seat one day, like I am doing, and give a lecture. Or Krishna may ask you to clean the pots. Or Krishna may ask you to do anything. One has to be ready to do anything. I mean, I've had some experience with devotees who are born in Brahmin families or high-class families who would refuse to do menial service. They would say, I'm too good for this. I said, can you clean the bathroom? He said, I'm too good for this. Well, that means you're not a Brahmin. That means you're identifying with the body. Yeah, you're just Malacha. Malacha, because you're proud, you're identifying with the body. A Brahmin is devoid of pride. I mean, it's like when we started our temple in North Carolina, I had to do everything. So one day, the devotees, I even did the plumbing. Yeah, I did. So one day the devotees came to me with a problem. The toilet's not working. And I said, what's the problem? What's the problem? And it turns out someone thrown a toothbrush on the toilet. So I, as a sannyasi and guru and everything like that, because everybody else was completely incapable of doing anything. So I had to just unbolt the toilet, take it outside, and get the toothbrush out. So, but I wasn't thinking, this is beneath me. Krishna wants us to do something, we do it. That's a real Brahman. Because then you understand You're Brahman, you're not the body. That's the definition of Brahman, in fact. One who knows Brahman. And of course, the best aspect of Brahman to know is Bhagawan. And to know that we're servants of Bhagawan. So, I guess that's the lecture for today. So, you understand? Don't want to get too heavy. I guess I was. So, anyway, so now we'll give you your Brahman thread, but there's a whole process for getting it. First of all, you go to the deities and Prabhupada and offer their obeisances. And then you go to your mommy and daddy, Mata and Pitta, and you offer obeisances to them. And you thank them for everything they've done for you. Actually, Srila Prabhupada even had Brahmananda offer obeisances to his mother and touch her feet. His mother actually got shot, you know. In the West, you don't see it. Where's your father's behind you, and where's your Mataji?
Mataji, Prabhuji साथ में आ जाओ.
So, offer obeisances to your father and your mother. See?
प्रभु आप माताजी साथ में आ जाओ.
Tell them thank you for everything you've done. Wow, this is good culture. Haribol. Haribol. A lot of people watching too on the internet. And you okay. Okay. So you ready, Ananta? So, you get your mantra after the sacrifice. But we put the thread on. This is a sacred thread. Didn't cost much. It didn't cost me anything because someone gave it to me. It's free. But what's not free is the endeavor you're going to have to make to come up to the standard. It's, austerity. But the austerity in Krishna consciousness is so blissful. I mean, I could tell you that every day of Krishna consciousness for the last 55 years has become better and better every day. And who can say that about their lives? That every day is better, more blissful. Even though there's so many physical and even political challenges in ISKCON, management challenges in ISKCON, financial challenges in ISKCON, people challenges in ISKCON, disciple challenges in ISKCON, Adhyatmic, Adhibodic, Adhidaivik, Adhidevodic. So many challenges. Anyway, life is full of challenges. But actually, I'm saying challenges rather than problems. There are no problems. There's challenges and opportunities. That's it. You see Krishna behind everything? Everything's an opportunity. No challenge. No problems. You got challenges, opportunities, and Krishna. Okay, so I guess your chadar will have to come off. And you put your right arm in your head. Haribol. Well, he's thin. He's very thin. He doesn't look like a Brahmin or anything.
He just became Brahmin Maharaj.
Yeah, I know. In India, the Brahmins have these interesting stomachs. So, all right, so now we can proceed, right, with the fire sacrifice? Okay. You can do the fire sacrifice. So, all glories to His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. We'll go outside for the fire sacrifice. right. All right.
माइक्रोफोन नहीं चाहिए
Hare Krishna. All right. We are outside for fire sacrifice. I guess I'll keep it on my lap. Okay, gang. Well, I'm not going to need the microphone.
No? Okay.
No, the person doing the fire sacrifice will need the microphone.
No, no. Oh, then you don't need it.
Should I get a table for that?
If you had a little table, it would be good.
Yeah, I think I
Oops. Okay, we'll change the camera. Okay. You just put it in front of me over here. Yeah, that's good. All right. You ready? Whenever you are.
Take the Achman. Take the Achman.
Ooh. How many people take an initiation?
Take the Achman cup and with the right hand, 3 drops. And chant Om Keshava.
Take with the left hand.
Take with the left hand in the right
Take with
hand.
the left hand and the right.
Put it in the right. Yeah.
3 drops. And you drink from here. And say Om Keshava. And then wash it. And again 3 drops. Om Narayana Namah. Again wash it. Again 3 drops. Om Madhvaya Namaha.
Om Namaha.
And then 3 drops. Om Govindaya Namaha.
Om Govindaya Namaha.
And then with right hand, take in the left hand. Om Vishnave Namaha.
Vishnaya Namaha. Okay.
Can please repeat after me. Om Apavitra.
Om Apavitra.
Pavitro Va.
Pavitro Va.
Sarvavastham.
Sarvavastham.
Topi Va. Yasmare.
Yasmaret.
Pundarikaksham.
Pundarikaksham.
Sabahya.
Sabahya.
Abhyantara.
Abhyantara.
Shuchi.
Shuchi.
Shri Vishnu.
Shri Vishnu.
Shri Vishnu.
Shri Vishnu.
Shri Vishnu.
Shri Vishnu.
How would you like to
Do what?
would you like to describe this shlokas?
Oh, yeah. Purified or yeah, the meaning, yeah. Om Apavitra Pavitro Va, whether one is purified or unpurified. Sarvavastam Gatopi Va, Yak Smaret. But if one remembers the lotus-eyed Lord, Pundarikaksham, Savaya Vyantara Shuchi, one becomes pure and can approach the transcendental destination. So the whole point is to always remember Krishna. That's the first rule of devotional service. And the second rule is never forget Krishna. And then you become, but the best way to remember Krishna is by chanting Krishna's name. Yaksmarat Pundarikaksham, the lotus-eyed Lord. Okay? Okay.
you can keep it. Start.
It's not that hot out here. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
So now when we start chanting mantras, every time we chant Swaha, you can pick up the wings like this, like this, and
What?
would like this.
You want me to do it too, or
Yeah,
no?
Ma, please.
If you want. Yeah. Do I have an Achman cup to purify my hands?
Here.
All right.
नहीं चलेगा तुलसी
Okay.
Okay. Om Bhuswaha idam Vishnavedam Namah. Om Bhuvaswaha idam Achyutaya idam Namah. Om Swaswaha idam Narayanaya idam Namah. Om Bhurbhuvaswaha idam Anantaya idam Namah. Now we'll be having standard Mangalacharan prayers. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana
Chakshurumritam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namah.
Swaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhisham Sthapitam yena bhutale Swayam Rupa Karamayam Dharati Swapanantikam Swaha Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakanam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Saranagita Shri Shakhanvitasya Swaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamini Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Swaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Daitaya Kripabde Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daine Prabhave Namah Madhuryojjvala Premaja Shri Rupavag Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namosate Namaste Gauravani Shri Murte Dinatarine Rupanuga Viruddhapa Siddhanta Dantaharine Swaha. Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshad Vairagyamurte Vipralambhar Sambhode Padambujayate Namah Swaha. Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Swaha. Gauravirbhava Bhumesvam Nirdeshna Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shri Karanathayate Namah Swaha. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah swaha. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratushe Namaha Swaha. Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktrupa Swarupakam Bhaktatam Bhaktatyam Namami Bhaktashaktikam Swaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishamanusude Devi Pranamami Haripriya Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah Swaha. Jayatam Surato Pango Mama Manda Matirgati Matsarvaswarambojo Radha Madan Mohanam Swaha Divya Vrindarani Kalpadumada Srimad Ratnagara Simhasanasto Srimad Radha Shri Govinda Devo Krishna Nidhi Sevamanam Swarami Swaha Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishvanususte Devi Pranamami Haripriye Swaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Swaha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Swaha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Swaha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Swaha. I will do one ahuti. You can take this one now.
Rise with banana.
Can you stand it now?
सामग्री भी ये सामग्री भी तो इसमें जाएगी ना प्रभु जी हैं?
प्रभु जी
कृष्णाय गोविंदाय नमो नमः लो जी ब्रह्महिताय च जगहिताय कृष्णाय गोविंदाय नमो नमः नमो ब्रह्मण्यदेवाय ब्रह्महिताय च जगहिताय कृष्णाय गोविंदाय नमो नमः
grains on the side.
Yeah, not in the fire. Don't extinguish the fire.
Grains on the
बाहर
side.
not on the fire बाहर में बाहर निकाल बाहर डाल दो कुंड के बाहर
Well, not in the fire.
Hari Hari Hari.
Okay. More wood.
More wood.
More wood. More wood.
वहाँ पे good है.
Oh, that's enough wood. That's enough wood. And then the banana goes in. Well, the banana should be on the fire. So let the banana get burnt. Put it all on top. Yeah, don't put the grains on the fire. Put them on the side.
प्रभु जी कीर्तन.
Okay, that's it. Rama